Hello?
There's a guy. Maybe he's got champagne.
Mass Effect Andromeda. I was really looking forward to this game, and I was hoping to get a full review out, but I could not bring myself to play this game any more than I did. It just wore me down with its monotony, so here's a full first impressions instead.
Did you say an arc? This is the Nexus, right?
Now, I would like to get out of the way the things that did immediately come off as good while playing this game. First off, the combat. It's still the standard third-person shooting that we got in Mass Effects 2 and 3, arguably the first one, but it's a lot more versatile and, dare I say, even intuitive. There's more depth and strategic ability afforded to the player, thanks to things like the jump pack, which allows for the player to more speedily get out of tight situations, as well as the later ability to actually swap out different specializations, allowing the player character that they otherwise may have had trouble with, even if it doesn't have the same layer of strategy that Dragon Age had. And the graphics? Okay, I've seen better graphics, but this is actually a pretty good looking game. I played the PS4 version, and it is clear that BioWare Montreal put the Frostbite engine to good use here. Everything looks crisp, vibrant, colourful, and just pops out at you. In fact, overall, the entire game does feel like they put a genuine effort into making everything be, well, an improvement over the trilogy. Even the stuff that didn't necessarily work out the first time, like with the Mako, for instance, and the inclusion of open world exploration to better complement that rather than just, say, a random plot of land on the moon. But that's where everything that is sincerely good about this game just ends. The rest is either boring or monotonous. Character models, for instance, while the rest of the game looks fine, if not great, the character models just look really lackluster. It's really hard to point down, but for some reason they just stood out to me as lower quality. Maybe it was the lower quality texture work on the eyebrows, or maybe it was the fact that all the human models just look, well, in particular the rider models just look ugly. Especially the female rider and the other presets for male rider. They're just disgusting to look at. And the facial animations too. What the hell is this? Why is there such a lack of polish in these things?
To whom? And your goddamn father. Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything.
While it isn't as bad for, say, the alien characters, their faces are still very unnaturally stiff, and this is made all the worse thanks to some really questionable voice acting. Overall, voice acting is professionally handled, but some characters have really monotonous delivery, or their voices just don't suit who or what they are. I mean, there's this friggin' Krogan character who sounds like he came out of a gay nightclub in San Francisco, then a fucking warrior race. How do you mess something that simple up?
Functional, or as functional as possible, considering.
Nothing more for now.
Later.
But of course, there's the real question that needs to be answered. What about the writing? Because this is BioWare. These guys have made almost nothing but great games with great stories. Well, sad to say, Mass Effect Andromeda's story is just bad. You'd think a story with the setup being you're part of an initiative to colonize the Andromeda galaxy, most likely as a covert operation to escape the Reapers in the off chance they won, would lead to various moral questions about colonization and whether or not it's ever truly justified. Like, what do you do for the sake of your own people at the expense of others? How far do you go? What do you do? How do you do it? But no, the story really just boils down to this. We need to find a home. We need new beginnings. You're the Pathfinder. You can help us defeat these evil aliens that won't let us make a new home! So instead of having something that could be complex and have you actually think in moral greys, we just have the game tell you you're Jesus. And to compound all of this, Andromeda is just boring. While the combat may be fun and engaging, it's a very fleeting engagement, and the rest of the game really just boils down into boring, monotonous tedium. I got so bored playing this game that it's the main reason why I actually stopped playing just to do a first impressions instead. Instead, I ended up just playing either Prey or all these other games instead.
At this point, doubt I'll ever marry. You keep the coin for Mandy, her wedding. Raise a toast to my health then.
Thank you, Master Witcher.
Them's warm words. You've a good heart. But I can't let you go empty-handed. Take this, at least. For luck.
Mass Effect Andromeda is a very disappointing game from what I have seen. If you're a fan of the original trilogy like I am, you're better off just ignoring this and pretending it never happened. But if you never played the original trilogy, and in which case I would recommend you play them, you may actually find something to like here. You may be the person this game is for, but I could not get into this. I'd say check it out if you're interested, but if you've already played the original trilogy, don't bother. Just go back and replay Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3 instead.
My window into the world.
That's pretty amazing.
But beyond what many people will accept, your father knew.
Hey, thanks for watching this video, really appreciate it. This makes you a really awesome person. Anyway, if you watch this on YouTube, then how about you like, favorite, and subscribe? If you watch this on VidMe, then how about a tip or two? I'd really appreciate that. And for the next game review, it's gonna be Prey. I'm hoping to play as much of that as I can within the next 5 days, and then use what I've seen as the basis for a full review. But for this month, I'm actually gonna take a look at Get Even, and I'm also looking at doing one of 2 showcases, similar to the indie showcase I did last year. I'm gonna take a look at some MMOs. So I've got all that and more coming up, so stick around.